This system is a wash, deburr, and dry for some saw cut parts. The goal for the end user was to have one operator that could receive the parts, load the parts, and unload the parts without needing to go back and forth a very far distance. So this gives them more or less one station to complete all of the tasks. Operator loads multiple bins of parts into the hopper. Conveyor brings them onto the conveyor washer. Conveyor washer transfers them to the deburring machine. Then deburring transfers to dry. So as the wash solution is sprayed, again, we've got top, bottom, both sides. Everything sprays down into a collection pan, which then passes through the chip tray, which will catch any debris. On this side of the washer, we would have a bag filter housing. On this pedestal, we would have a water and chemical metering device that would add it anytime it's below our fill line. We've also got an access cover to get into the tank to do periodic cleaning. Conveyor will run parts onto a lined slide that will then transfer into the media, where it'll tumble for a 10 to 15 minute deburring cycle on this machine. This SBB8 also has the auto lube system. It's got our gate clearing feature, which will briefly run the bowl in reverse before unloading parts. It's also got the full sound enclosure to keep the decibels at a minimal level. This control panel houses our auto lube system, our incoming water solenoid, flow meter to measure the amount of water going through the bowl, and then our incoming air to run the pneumatic dam. The auto lube takes care of the greasing of the bearings on the vibratory bowl. Once that gets to a low level, it will send a fault to the main control panel to let the operator know they need to add grease into the unit. On this system, the end user is only using straight water. Typically, you would have a compound that would be added in. Once the parts go through their unload cycle, they'll load into the dryer through the side entry, where then they will make one single pass around the bowl. There is an infrared heater above that will heat the corn cob to help dry the parts quicker. But in most cases, one single pass around the machine will result in dry parts. The single pass around the heated drying bowl is roughly 1 minute. If parts take longer time to dry than a single pass, there is a dam you can raise that will allow the parts to make multiple passes. The HMI controls your conveyor speeds for both the load and the wash, your pump, your temperature for the wash tank, your speeds on the SBB8 bowl, your time in the drying bowl. This does have a 7-day preheat timer that you can schedule day by day when the wash heat is on or off. The benefit to having everything controlled on one PLC is it doesn't require everything to be on at once. As parts go through, once our load and wash cycle is complete and the parts are all in the SBB8 bowl, the washer and the load conveyor all shut off, so they're not running when there's nothing going through them. So the cleats on the belt are only a certain height just to help meter how much is being transferred onto the washer at a time. So we're not getting a lot of overlapping parts to mask the spray. So the SBB8 vibratory bowl right now is running at a low speed, just so when parts are loading into there, it has a chance to spread them out and they're not all loading on top of each other. Our wash conveyor can run anywhere from roughly 1 feet per minute to 12 feet per minute. Load conveyor, 4 feet per minute to 30 feet per minute. Again, it's based on the part and how much wash time you want. These parts aren't very critical for part-on-part contact, but we do have lining on the ramp coming down. We have lining on the screen the parts will exit on. We're running a little bit of a smaller batch size, so the part-on-part contact will be pretty minimal. Our deburring cycle is complete. It will now briefly run the SBB8 in reverse, help clear any parts away from the dam before it comes up. It'll just take a few seconds for that, then it will run back and forward to start unloading the parts. In most cases, unloading is going to be in the 5 to 6 minute range. Since the load and the wash conveyor are not running right now while the deburring cycle is unloading, the operator is able to load its next batch of parts. So once this unload cycle is complete, it's just a simple press of the button and they're running the next batch again. So if you've got an application that could use an integrated system like this, or even parts of it, or even just each single piece, you can reach out to us on ALMCO.com and we can help find a solution.